Do you know it's story time, story time, story time? Do you know it's story time in our classroom today? And the title of this story is Simple Machines by DJ Ward and illustrated by Mike Lowry. So friends, this is a story that is going to give us information. It is going to tell us information about simple machines, what we can learn more about it. So in this story, we have two vocabulary words, just like in our title, simple machine. And a simple machine is a machine that allows you to do work more easily. Okay, simple machine. And we will also see the vocabulary words, compound machine. Can you say that word with me? Compound machine. A compound machine is when there are two or more simple machines working together. Okay, that is what makes a compound machine, when there are two or more simple machines working together. So let's begin our story that is going to give us information. Simple machines. Have you ever had to move something really heavy? How did you do it? He has a box of toys here. Did you grab it from underneath and lift with all your might? Did you lean your shoulder into it and push? Did you tie a rope to it and pull, pull, pull? Or did you use a machine? With a machine, you don't have to lift or push or pull so hard. Machines make work easier. Here, try this. Thanks, Dad. That's why machines are everywhere. Look around your neighborhood. We use machines to help us get around. Machines help us dig and build and knock things down. They help us reach way up high. Cars, bulldozers, and lawnmowers are machines with lots of moving parts. But not all machines are so complicated. Some are so simple that you might not even think of them as machines. Beep, beep. They are called simple machines. So remember, friends, here's our vocabulary word, simple machine. A machine that allows you to do work more easily. Here are 6 simple machines. We have a lever, a wheel and axle, a pulley, a ramp, a wedge, and a screw. Think about a seesaw. You sit on one end of a long board. Your friend sits on the other side. Up I go! The board rests on something in the middle that lets each end tip up and down. By pushing down on your end of the board, you can make your friend go up. Have you ever tried to lift your friend without using a seesaw? It's hard, isn't it? The seesaw makes lifting your friend easier. It's a simple machine. So let's look at a lever. The seesaw is a simple machine called a lever. All levers have 2 parts. 1, the first part is a board or a rod that won't bend or break easily. 2, the other part is something that will let the lever turn or tip. This is called the fulcrum. When you push down on one end of your seesaw, the other end goes up. When your end lifts up, the other side goes down. Making your friend go up is easy because you both are about the same weight. But imagine instead if your mom or dad were on the other side. They weigh much more than you do. It would be very hard to make them go up. You might get stuck high off the ground. But if we change the seesaw, you can lift them. So here's the board. Here is the fulcrum. Move the fulcrum closer to your mom or dad so there is more of the board on your side. Push down on the long side. The closer the fulcrum is to your mom or dad, the easier they will be to lift. If you have a long enough lever, you can even lift an elephant. So if you're trying to lift something very heavy, the fulcrum needs to go closer to the heavier side. Levers are not only good for making us stronger, they can also help us make things go faster. Pick up a stick and wave it back and forth in the air. Can you see the end of the stick moves very fast? You are moving the stick as a lever and your wrist as the fulcrum. You move your wrist a little and the end of the stick moves a lot. Baseball bats work this way. With a twist of your wrist, you make the end of the bat move really fast. Hit the ball with a fast-moving bat and the ball goes fast too. A lever is a one-of-a-kind simple machine, but there are more. So crack. Here's the rod. Here's the fulcrum, his hands. And he hit the ball so far, he got a home run. A steering wheel is another wheel and axle. The steering wheel is connected to a rod. When you turn the steering wheel, it turns the rod. The rod steers your front wheels where you want them to go. But what if your car didn't have a steering wheel? What if you had to steer by grabbing the rod and trying to twist it? It wouldn't be easy, that's for sure. So here's the wheel to turn your car. Here is the axle to turn the wheels of the car. Let's learn about a wheel and axle. For instance, a doorknob is a simple machine called a wheel and axle. A wheel and axle is a wheel with a rod sticking out in the middle. So here's the wheel, the doorknob, and the axle is the rod that's connected to the door. When you turn the wheel, the rod turns too. The wheel is there to make the rod easier to turn. Pulley. What would you do if you had to lift something way up high, even higher than you could reach? You might use a simple machine called a pulley. A pulley is a wheel with a groove in it. So a rope goes over the pulley. The groove keeps the rope from falling off of the wheel. As you pull the rope down on one side of the pulley, the rope goes up on the other side. Have you ever seen someone raise a flag up a flagpole? There's a pulley to pull the string to help the flag go up high. There is a pulley at the top of the pole. The flag is attached to a rope that hangs over the pulley. When the person pulls down on one side of the rope, the flag is pulled up the other side. That is easier than climbing up the pole. A fishing rod is also another type of pulley. Used in groups, pulleys can help you lift things much heavier than flags. The more pulleys you use, the easier it is to lift something. With enough pulleys, you could lift a rhinoceros. Wow, so we see 1, 2, 3, 4 pulleys to help lift this rhinoceros. Groups of pulleys lift you when you ride in an elevator. Going up, so here's 1, 2, 3, 4 pulleys. And here's a counterweight. And here is an electric motor to help it go up and down on the elevator. Ramp. Ladders can be fun to climb, but what if you had to use one anytime you wanted to go up or down? You could get tired from climbing ladders all day. Instead, we use stairs, which make going up or down easier. Stairs are a kind of machine called a ramp, or an inclined plane. As you go up a ramp, you are not just going up, You are also going forward at the same time. That takes much less energy than going straight up. The lower the angle, the ramp, the easier it is to climb. The pyramids in Egypt were built thousands of years ago. They were made by stacking many large blocks of stone, one upon another. Back then, there were no cranes for lifting such heavy things. Guess how Egyptians got heavy stone blocks up so high? They used ramps. Imagine a tall, round birthday cake. Then imagine you get a big slice of that cake. Yum! Lying on your plate, it looks like a ramp, doesn't it? Now imagine you flip the piece of cake over. It still looks like a ramp. That's because it has a ramp on both sides. Wedge. An object with a ramp on both sides is another kind of simple machine called a wedge. Simple machine wedges are made of hard materials, though not cake. An axe head is a wedge. Have you ever seen anyone chop a log with an axe? When the person swings the axe head down onto the log, the metal wedge pushes apart the wood. It splits the log. Wedges help us split things or push things apart. So here is the wedge. It's cutting the log. It's spreading it apart. Screw. Did you ever look closely at a screw? Through a magnifying glass, a screw looks like a tiny ramp, except the ramp twists around as it goes. Believe it or not, a screw is a simple machine. It's a ramp with twists. Not all screws are so tiny. As you walk up a spiral staircase, you walk up and go around at the same time. Some parking garages have driveways that spiral up to higher levels. These are big examples of screws. Sometimes to get a job done, the best is to work as a team. When a team of simple machines work together, they become a compound machine. So here's our vocabulary word, compound machine. When two or more simple machines work together. Compound machines can do a job even more easily than one simple machine can. In fact, most machines you see each day are compound machines. They can be as simple as a pair of scissors or as complex as a car. You might not be building a pyramid. You might not want to lift an elephant. Even so, simple machines are good to have around. You might want to open your door, turn the wheel and axle. You might ride your bike down the street. Just pedal those levers. Or you might want to help your family do some work around the house. That's great. You could use a simple machine for that. Simple machines make work easier after all. Let's spot some more simple machines. So here is a lever. A boat oar. When you row your boat, that is a lever. Or when you open the top of a soda can lid, that is also a lever. Wheel and axle. A wagon wheel is a wheel and axle. When you turn a screwdriver, it is a wheel and axle. Pulley. Your blinds on your windows, to open and close them, you use a pulley. A well, where you get your bucket of water from, you use a pulley to lift up the heavy bucket of water. Ramp. A mountain road. You are going up an inclined plane, a ramp, to get to the top of the mountain. A truck ramp. A truck also uses an inclined plane to help move heavy furniture into the truck. Wedge. To cut things, to split them apart. A knife. When you cut an apple, you split it apart. A knife is a wedge. A boat's bow. The front of the boat and underneath a boat is has two inclined planes together to form a wedge. It helps push the water apart so the boat can move. And screw. A car jack is a type of screw to lift your car up. And a jar lid is a type of screw to open and close your jar. I hope you enjoyed our story, Simple Machines, and all of the information it had for us. Until next time, friends. Bye.